It's ground zero for the old growth protection movement on Vancouver Island. The Walbran Valley continues to be a place that people are passionate about protecting.
There was actually just a big gathering recently in the Walbran Valley where there's over 100 hikers and conservationists there. There's a constant stream of people in summer to see the Walbran. And to me, it is the most beautiful ancient forest I've ever seen. That whole central part of the Walbran with the emerald pool and the big waterfalls and the giant cedars, the big Sitka spruce, it's the most magical part of the ancient forest on this island I've ever been to. The valley is amazing for a lot of endangered species. It's the first place they found the nest of the marbled murrelet seabird, a threatened seabird that nests only in old growth forests. There's northern goshawk, which is a red-listed bird of prey. It's got a whole lot of species at risk in old growth dependent species, long-eared bats and Vos's swifts, red-legged frogs. There's a lot going on. NDP government at the time protected half of the Walbran Valley, but the boundaries of the park were drawn to exclude the Castle Grove and the best cedar stands. We've already lost 75% of the original productive old growth forests on Vancouver Island, including over 90% of the classic valley bottom ancient forests like this. And in fact, on southern Vancouver Island, we've lost about 96% of these valley bottom ancient forests. The Association of Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities and the Union of BC Municipalities, representing mayors and city councils and regional districts across the province, have called for an end to old growth logging on Vancouver Island. The Pulp, Paper and Woodworkers of Canada, one of the main forestry unions representing thousands of mill workers and forestry workers across BC, they also passed a resolution calling for the protection of old growth forests and instead a sustainable second growth forest industry. Many First Nations use the ancient red cedars for building totem poles, for longhouses, for carving canoes. Old growth forests also counteract climate change. They store huge amounts of atmospheric carbon. They provide clean water for human communities and for wild salmon. And they're an iconic part of BC's heritage. There's also concerns that there are potentially proposed cut blocks in the upper Walbran Valley. It's one watershed, so even though it's not in the central Walbran, the best part of the Walbran, it still has downstream effects, and there's so little ancient forest left in general. All of it should be protected. And there's also just a lot of recreational interest there. It's so spectacular. The boardwalks have been expanded by local groups there, and it is the finest of the ancient forests left in the entire country. The Castle Grove of the Walbran is unlike any other stand of giant cedars. It's the biggest, the best, the most spectacular. The new government now has said that they're going to use the Great Bear Rainforest ecosystem-based management model to manage old growth forests. What that likely means, if they take it seriously and if in its most direct form, is that there's going to be a science panel that will then determine how much old growth needs to be saved in order to minimize the loss of biodiversity. That would result in the protection of the Walbran Valley and ancient forests across Vancouver Islands because so little remains. But let's see if the government goes there. But now's the time for the Walbran Valley, for the Eden Grove, for ancient forests like Jurassic Grove, areas that are endangered across Vancouver Island. Now's our greatest opportunity to get these areas saved.
If you do one thing this season, get outside and enjoy our old growth forests. For Community Producers, I'm Heather Leary.